pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know, which they did today.
Roll call.
Rob?
Yes.
Bill?
Yeah.
Joyce?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Gilbert? Chuck?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to approve the videos and written minutes.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
That is March's regular minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Bill, you seconded?
Yeah.
Okay, Linda?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
And then I need one for the March's special
Special
meeting
meeting.
minutes.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Joyce?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Okay, I needed a discussion approval of financial reports.
And there's February and March's bank
Yes,
recs.
I got them.
Yeah, got everything, so.
This is for, posted March 3rd this year. Prior UAN balance is $2,064,803.86. Receipts was $71,017.65. Payments, $70,870.39. Zero adjustments for a final balance of $2,064,538.97. Any questions about that? Okay, I'll move on to, this is posted April 4th. Prior UAN balance, $2,064,951.12. The receipts is $74,855.20. Payments, $185,426.49 with zero adjustments. For the final balance of $1,954,379.83. Any questions about that? I need a motion.
I will. I'll second.
Joyce?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Well, looks like we got lots of special guests tonight, so. Where do we want to start? I guess
Who
we'll
wants to
start-
be first?
we'll start with the guy standing. He can just-
Well, no, these guys probably got regular business to talk about.
Well, we will.
Well, we're talking.
Okay.
This is the one we do this.
Yeah.
All right,
We're just,
well, I'm Judge Kelbley.
yes, you are.
I'm going around saying thank you to the people for whom I've been working for the last 34 years. Got about half a year left to go, and I know how to find my way to Bettsville. Didn't need no GPS. Unfortunately, the Pie House was closed. But is the Blue Eagle still open at least?
No.
Oh man!
You're really dating yourself now.
Well,
Yes, you are.
Art Fogel was the mayor.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Is
goodness.
his wife still living, by the way?
Oh, no.
No, she passed. Well,
Yeah.
I should quit talking.
Yeah.
Anyhow, back in 1988, I passed out pencils as part of my campaign. Passed out 20,000 pencils when I was running. So as I've had not quite 20,000 made, but just kind of souvenirs, sorta. They're big pencils. I have arthritis now, so they're good for arthritis. But if you don't mind, I'd like to leave them with you. Just kind of a small present, I guess. They're worth about 31 cents a piece if you want to sell them on eBay or something. But
There's not a lot of craft involved.
no. But anyhow, I just want to thank you for letting me be your judge over the years.
Well, we thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You know, used to represent the
Thank you.
village
Yeah.
a long time
Long
ago.
time ago.
Carmen was the clerk treasurer. Can't remember his last name.
Shriver.
Thank you. How could I ever forget Carmen?
Yeah.
He and I got along okay, but yeah, it was a good time. It really was. Represent the villages. It was fun. So, and what I do now is fun. But getting old, can't do it anymore. They're kicking me out. At the age of 70, you can't take office anymore.
Is
so,
that right?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all right. I don't know what I'm going to do. Had some job offers. The dog warden wants me to work on weekends to pick up stray dogs. There's a doctor in town that wants me to mow her yard.
Well,
There's a guy from the funeral home that wants me to help him. And my first cousin wants me to sell real estate, so. I'm not
You're gonna
doing-
find out that
I'm
you're
not doing
pretty
any of
busy or
those, I'm not
retired
doing any
till
of
you
those
were.
things. I'm taking some time off.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out what it's gonna be like not to
Yeah.
have to get up to work.
Well, you'll find out.
Well, you got other stuff.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, thank you for your
Well,
service.
thank
Sure, oh, believe me. Thank you, I didn't come for that. Can I leave these with you?
Sure.
And can you pass them out?
Yes,
Don't
I will.
let them keep them all this way.
Just enjoy
So
your
I'm gonna
retirement.
sneak out.
Okay,
Enjoy your
thanks.
retirement, it's important, you know?
Yeah, that's right. I had pork chops and sweet potatoes, and I'm hoping the ice cream store is open so I can sneak some before I get home.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
We won't tell on you.
Yeah, but the ice cream machine is broken.
For the last 2 months.
Yeah, they can't get the parts. So if you can go out to the.
man, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
back home.
Yeah.
We're falling apart.
I'm going. Bye, thank you.
Have a good-
All right, Ken, where you going next? So I can get
Be
there
safe.
before you, so.
Yeah. Well, you guys, anybody else got something to say right now, or? Yes.
I can come over.
Sure.
Since I'm a candidate for office, actually, to replace Judge Kelbley,
Oh, yeah?
who just left here, which I want to tell you, I worked with Judge Kelbley for 19 years when I was a county prosecutor here in Seneca County. And he just did a wonderful, masterful job when he had trials and would bring the jury in, and citizens would come to the courtroom for the first time, and he would put them at ease and let them know, how things were gonna be, proceeding, and he did a great job. 34 years, that's a long time, so. Anyways, my name's Ken Egbert Jr., and I'm a candidate for the Republican nomination for the judgeship, which is for Common Pleas Court. Judge Kelbley has to leave because of the law requiring the judges that are 70 at any level in Ohio, they have to leave office. So there's 3 of us on the ballot. I'm one of the 3, and I have 32 years of Common Pleas Court experience, and why I'm running is based on my experience as a prosecutor here locally, 19 years. I was 9 years an assistant prosecutor, and then 10 years as the elected prosecutor. And then for the last 13 years, I've worked for the Ohio Attorney General's office, and I'm doing many of the same things I did when I was prosecutor. I prosecuted felony crimes in courts. That's what I do. And the felonies get prosecuted in Common Pleas Court. So I have considerable courtroom experience that I'm going to draw upon, not just from Seneca County. And Judge Kelbley had a number of trials with Judge Kelbley. Also Judge Spellerberg, if you remember Judge Spellerberg, he was before Judge Schuff, and I had trials in front of both of those judges. So plenty of experience to draw from. And then of course, with these 40 other counties I've been in, I've drawn experience from dozens of other Common Pleas judges that I've met along the way. So that's my background in terms of my legal experience. I have some information that I can hand out to the group, but the reason why that I want to ask those that end up picking a Republican ballot to vote for me, I already talked about my experience, but also temperament's very important for a judge. I think citizens all want a judge that has a very even-keeled temperament and is willing to listen to all sides, treat people with respect and dignity in the courtroom, and decide the law based on the facts and the law and apply the law as written to the cases. All right, that's very important. And to have judicial independence. That's something that I knew Judge Kelbley had in all of his cases, which is not going to be influenced by any outside people, whether it's in the Justice Center or outside that building there, in terms of what decisions you're going to make as a judge. The other thing I wanted to mention was my vision for the court. I think the court is proceeding in a great way to the electronic age, okay? We're starting to do things that are more modern in our court system. I know with COVID, that introduced a lot of innovations. I know because I've gone to other counties where they've had videotaped hearings. Instead of bringing the prisoners in from jail, you can do a bond hearing from the jail to the court, which is nice. It saves a transport, that sort of thing. So I want to enhance those capabilities, whether it be sending out electronic notifications on a cell phone. I mean, you wouldn't believe the young people how tied they are to this, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And if we have jury service, wouldn't that be a great way to get notified, is get a a text notification like you do for the dentist or the doctor. That's what I get from my dentist, is I get a notification, a reminder as far as I need to come in for my appointment. Same thing for jury service, we can do that. Also, I want to have court documents by the attorneys to go toward electronic filing. They have that in other counties. I have a case pending in Erie County. It's called a court view is the name of the system. And all the documents are filed electronically, so that way you're getting away from having all this paper and become more paperless. So I think that'd be more efficient use of the court system. Also, with the court's website. I know Crawford County has the daily and the weekly schedule of the judge. So that way if anyone wants to see what's on the docket, they want to come up and see what's going on in court, they can look at the website and they can come up to court. And then the other thing is post decisions of interest for the community. You know, the judiciary, my experience has been, is really the least understood of the three branches of government. You know, everybody knows the executive's the president on the federal level, the governor at the state level. They execute the law. The legislature, they make the law. That's Congress at the federal level, the General Assembly in Columbus at the state level. But the judges, people don't always know what the judges do. And in common pleas courts throughout Ohio, felony cases that are indicted by the grand jury go through the common pleas court. We have 2 general division judges that handle those cases. Civil cases with more than $15,000 being the claim go through common pleas court. And then you have the domestic relations cases, which is what the magistrates do. That's a bulk of what their work is the divorce, dissolution, establishing child support, those kind of issues. So I think it's important that whoever the judge is, and of course I'm hopeful that I'm the one selected, needs to get out in the community and make sure that people understand what the court's work is and to boost public perception of the court's work. I think it's extremely important that people serve on juries. And I know some people don't like to serve on juries, but most people that I've talked to after they've had the experience have ended up telling me, you know, they really enjoyed it. Grand jury's easy because that's the charging body. They just decide which cases go forward. They kind of screen the cases. It's the pettit juries where you're deciding, is this person guilty or not guilty? That's really tough, and the standard of proof's beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the highest standard by law that a prosecutor has to prove. So it's very difficult, but it's important because if the citizens aren't involved with the juries, then they're not going to have confidence in the system. I mean, the people have to be involved with their government, not just with the legislature, but also in the judiciary by being jurors. So I would like to promote that in our community, even more than what the judges have if I'm elected. So I'll leave you be. I'm going to go to some other meetings, but I'm going to leave my literature. If you'd like to look at my information, I've been around Bettsville today, taking in the different places and meeting different people. I even met Mr. Toy today and talked to him. Had a nice conversation. So it's nice seeing you all. I wasn't a village solicitor because as prosecutor I was the township's legal counsel, and then also for the county officials. So had a little different duties compared to the village solicitor. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck.
See you. Thank you.
You need to sign it.
Okay. Mr. Channel, do you have something to represent?
Yeah, that would be us.
Again.
Hi, good evening. I was here back in the fall asking,
Has it been that long?
yeah.
Oh my God.
It's been a while. So, thanks to John, I finally got somebody to survey my property.
Okay.
I got it staked out. My current garage at the front is 30 inches off my neighbor's property line, and at the back it's 50 inches off the property line. What I'd like to do is, I'd like to take that down and then build a new structure, because my garage is in pretty bad shape. And I'd like to put it in the exact same place as I have right now.
Are you gonna use the existing foundation, or are you gonna do something different?
No, the concrete inside of it is all
Yeah.
messed up, tore up. It's like they took Quikrete when they built it and just dumped it in different spots. So I know I have to start the process, I have to do the $250 to get things rolling, so you guys can send out notifications to my neighbors and stuff like that.
Well, that's what you want a variance, right? Because
The variance.
you're closer than what the.
He'll have
setbacks
to
are.
because.
Because of the setbacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what you wanna do, so, yeah. Work with the zoning group and we can work through all those things.
Okay, so, that being said, so do I just write the check first, and then, is there a meeting for the zoning committee, or how?
Rob, yeah, Rob will have a meeting, and what we do is we'll notify the neighbors, we'll do all that
Send
stuff.
out letters, notify the neighbors, and we'll have a short meeting.
Mhm.
They can come up here and voice their things, and then we'll make our recommendation to the council.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I start with writing the check to the town for the $250?
All that goes through John.
John, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll,
Does he have to do that now, or after everything else is done?
No, you do
Yeah,
that.
you
have
to do it now. It has to be
Very
upfront.
easy.
He files for the variance.
Very good, so,
Oh,
that's what he's doing, so, that's the procedure.
okay, so I'll
Do
get
it,
with
John, then.
with you
Bear
sometime.
in mind that the
Get-
$250 is non-refundable.
No, I understand
No matter
that.
which one we judge.
Right.
So if the neighbors are okay with it, is it then it voted on by you guys? Is that
Yeah,
how that
we'll
works?
vote on by the zoning board,
Okay.
and then to make a recommendation to the council, then we'll.
The council at large then makes the decision, and then
Yeah.
John, if it's in the positive, then John writes
yeah.
the permit.
Okay,
Then you go ahead.
I don't think you'd have a problem with
Yeah,
it.
if you already talked to your neighbors, which you probably already did.
Well, we gotta, it's gotta be
yeah,
formalized.
no, I understand all that, so I just wanted, finally got it surveyed, so I wanted to just get the ball rolling.
Right, yeah, we understand,
Okay.
and we'll work with you, but like I said, we gotta go through the procedure, and we'll work together and make sure everybody's happy, we don't have any conflicts.
It'd be helpful for me and for Bill if you would supply us with a list of your neighbors.
What, does it have to be on all sides, or just the side that's affected?
Sides of your property's touching, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right,
All
John?
three of them?
Both,
What
yeah.
deal, but three, what
Doesn't have
about
to
the
be
one
whole
behind
town
it?
or anything.
the one behind him's not touching him, we have an alley.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so just the two.
So just the two.
Just the two, and then that way,
I can get
Give me
that,
the names so I can
Send
send
them a
out,
letter.
send out a letter to
Yeah.
them.
I got you.
yeah, because we got all these people changing states, and we have to keep track of all these people sometimes.
Minnesota's been there for,
110 years.
yeah,
At least 1 year longer than you've been.
Yeah, really, no kidding.
and then,
Straight out of law.
yeah. And then, just wanted to let you guys know about the banners.
Okay.
I
Oh,
still
yeah.
haven't talked to anybody from AP, because that's kind of a
The polls.
yeah, about the, and then, that being said, we were at the process, and thankfully, that when Trish brought the banner up, you guys told us it was AP's, because had I not done that, we were gonna order the banners.
Oh,
So, we kind of missed the discounted period,
Okay.
because at a certain time,
Right.
they raise the prices, because a lot of towns will go to them right before Memorial Day and say, hey, I need this right now. So we're gonna readdress it in the fall, and
Yeah.
then start
Okay.
taking orders again, so
Yeah.
just wanted to let you guys know where we're at
Yeah,
with that.
I think it's the right way to do it, that way,
I think so.
everybody's
Yep,
okay with everything.
yep.
Yeah.
We don't need any more challenges, right? So-
Yeah.
No, I got it. So, I will, if I get more information on it, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you for your time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay,
I'll
good.
be in here in the morning if you wanna come in.
Okay.
If you got time.
What time do you usually go to lunch?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Okay, because I think lunch around you, can I just come over here?
Yep.
All right, cool. I'll make sure, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
So Joe and Sue's here, we're gonna talk a little bit about, his land and so like, while we're on this retention pond, and we'll talk about that, and he's got some questions and covenants, and I'm gonna have Alex involved with those, so we can resolve any of these questions before we go any further.
Right.
Okay, so Joe, you're up, we're gonna take our money, come and get it. So,
This ought to be good.
Yeah.
Alex,
Already
were
got
you
it.
trying to send me something for the village?
Not yet. Come on.
You did send me a separation agreement, and I didn't even know we were married, but thank you.
I can't believe it made it because I was in BG. Nice.
I mean,
No wonder it didn't print.
it did.
It just
Here.
Just here.
Well, Armin.
You can deep six that. Thank
Okay.
Armin and what's their name? Who? That's Chris.
Chris, yeah, for God's sake, how could I
Same as your
forget something
son.
like that, yeah, Chris.
I don't feel so bad anymore.
I've had a rough week, okay?
Tuesday.
Well, you don't know how long this week has been. Today was a week.
It's been 2 days.
It's been 2 days.
That was good.
Yes, that was
That was
good.
a little sarcastic punch around, and you
Yeah.
come in here
Well,
and
just-
school us.
Yeah. He just forgets about this karma stuff, okay?
Again, Joe Warland, Saxtetter Warland Insurance. This time, like I walked in, John said, "Oh, you must be collecting some money." No, it's renewal time, John.
Oh.
So, again, first page, These limits have not changed. I think, what, 2 years ago, we bumped the liability limits up to the 5 million. Legal general liability, automobile liability, public official liability, and the employment practice liability is all at the $5 million. All right. The next 10 pages are just the breakdown on all the buildings. I don't think a whole lot has changed. I don't think you've put anything new up, have you, John? You know, they've increased 4% for inflation. Last year, they did the big increase because of the revaluation of the buildings. And then they increased for the 4% on that. So, some of these buildings, and I think I've talked to the mayor a couple times on the park issue, what's happening there. You know, let's say something does happen in this year, all you have to do is let me know and we can get those structures.
It should be pretty close. I should have a meeting with the county commissioners on Thursday to resolve it. We'll talk about that a little bit more in detail later, but I had some technical issues, technical things to get resolved today, so hopefully I got them taken care of.
You know, and if you do that midterm, you know, once we do remove those, there will be a reduction in premium. You know, we've got liability over there for the quarry and liability for the park and the structures and stuff over there, fences and all that stuff. So that stuff, you know, when it does happen, I can get with John or Ian.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on and what happens.
On which ones we do need to take off.
Right.
So, and then the miscellaneous additional property statement of values, that's miscellaneous property for equipment in the village, fire department equipment, as well as the road and water as well. Not a whole lot has changed there. Fire, if you go to the, you should say schedule of vehicles. Keep going there, Joyce, all the way back the other way.
No, I just remembered something I got to
Write it down, that's fine.
Yeah, that
So-
concerns you. Uh-oh.
So the vehicles, 99 Ford F-450 Super Duty bucket truck, 92 Ford 4,000 gallon tanker, 98 Freightliner pumper, 2014 Ford F-250, 2006 Ford F-250 aluminum flatbed fire vehicle, 2011 Ford Escape fire car, 2017 Ford F-350 dump, Sure Track trailer, 2019 Freightliner M2 fire truck, 2021 impact trailer. So those are the 10 vehicles that the village has insured. So,
I'm really surprised at the deductibles.
well, you're just hitting all the buttons there. So the premium did increase $3,100 from last year to this year. Joyce made a great, currently you're at a $500 or $250 deductible for the vehicles, $500 deductible for property. All right. If we went with a $1,000 deductible comp and collision, that'd save you $2,252. If we went to $1,000 deductible property, it's going to save you $458. So tune of $2,800 to increase the deductibles. You know, anymore, $1,000 is really nothing.
I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, I also think we'll stay at the 5 million liability. I think not doing any other riders. I think we can do that.
Yeah, 5's good. You know, in the past, you know, what the reason the low deductibles is you guys owned, you know, or you guys still own the program. And it wasn't cost effective to increase the deductibles, but now with inflation and every cost of repairs and everything, you know, it's a pretty good incentive. You know, $2,800, you know, or $2,600 to increase deductibles. So, you know, and you know, look at your track record over the course of the years; it hasn't been crazy. So, so really, that's my only suggestion of just.
I think I'm okay with that. If you guys are okay with that. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't do it to my personal automobile, okay, John?
Okay, so I think we need a motion probably to accept this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That what
what you need?
I'll make the motion
That's
to
all.
accept Joe's proposal here.
With what, $1,000 deductible?
Yeah, change it to $1,000 deductible on both property and
And vehicles.
So is that gonna bring down to around $30,000 for the premium then?
Yes, and be under that, so, and that's what Angela, she wanted a breakdown, I told her, I said, I didn't give her a breakdown on purpose because of
Right.
these proposed numbers here.
Exactly.
So I didn't wanna get her a breakdown and then have a $2,800
Yeah,
thing we
yeah.
needed to reduce, so.
So do an updated cost and send it annually, and we'll make a motion to approve it.
Yeah.
$2,900, whatever it ends up, once you get all the adjustments.
Okay, so we're going with $1,000 deductible on the property and the vehicles.
Correct.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Joycey,
And Rob, you second?
Yes, I did.
Joyce?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
And Linda?
yes.
No, I'm unforgettable.
So Joe's not gonna starve this year, so he's gonna be fine. So, and just for the council's notice, I had a discussion with Joe about the sewage property and stuff like that. I called the EPA, he recommended, and I called Joe, and then he recommended his underwriter. He called me, and he recommended that I contact this insurance company in the South Wapak to get a quote to put because it's brownfield, and get that phase one environmental study on the property
Yeah.
before we move forward, to make sure that we have no risk to the village,
Yeah.
okay?
And that's a huge step, because, you know, like Scott and I, we talked, is, you know, yes, that ground is given or bought for $1, all right? It's the village's responsibility, and if you guys sell a piece of dirty ground, there could be some liability back
Yes,
to the
yeah.
village, and you guys are doing all the right
Yeah.
steps on,
Yeah.
you know, here it is,
Yes.
boom, 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 and the, you know, whoever does buy it will accept those.
Right.
So.
And I think it's the right thing to do. and
Yeah.
We'll talk more
We
in
talked
detail
about that
later
before,
on, but I
and
just,
I think that's a good idea.
yeah, so I just wanted to make sure everybody understood what I was doing and why we did it, you know, so,
And that park still costing money.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
People don't understand that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's
No,
huge.
no,
You know, it's huge, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
They just think because the water's there,
Yeah.
there you go, you know, have no idea.
And I've had a couple clients inquire about it, you know, down the road, they're interested in
Yeah.
it. But, it's a unique piece of property,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
What do they do with it, you know, the one wants to, you know,
Yeah.
their intentions of just keeping it all just private, you know, just for their families. And the other one is talked about a full-blown
Yeah.
campground.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, and I think the setup there is
Yeah.
fantastic,
for it, yes, it is.
fantastic, you know?
I think the biggest thing that the council prefers that it's the liability we want to get rid of.
Oh,
You
hands
know,
down.
right? And then I make sure it's annexed in, and then the money can, whatever, that
Flows
comes into.
back here.
Flow back into the village, and right now it's just a liability cost, and won't maintain it and all that stuff, and it's just not a win-win situation once we lost the village to support it, so.
Well, and, you know,
The dynamics change as far as what people do.
I'm just gonna say, you know, 20 years ago, if something happened out there, you know, the parents, you know, Johnny shouldn't have been doing it, you know? And it's, you know, it's my problem because Johnny did it.
Right.
Now, it's, you know what, look what the village did,
Yeah.
you know, or look what they didn't,
Yeah.
you know?
We had that when I was mayor.
Oh, hands down. So, cool. I appreciate the business.
Thank
Anything
you.
else, let us know, and I'll get Angela
We'll be sure.
the
Okay.
redone, so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow?
Yes.
Come back again, Joe.
Okay, let's do some quick reports, and then we'll get into the old business, and then talk about. Well, he's here, because we're gonna talk about the park here, or the
Yeah,
cleaning
okay,
land.
all right, okay.
And he had some questions and stuff we need to answer before we move forward and all that stuff. And I want Alex here so we can understand how we do this legally.
Yes.
And all these things, so that's
Okay.
why, okay,
I'll
so,
do that.
okay, police, I got the police reports, for up to last month, and then I haven't got this month yet, so I'll submit these to, but basically, we're having good, everything's going well, no major issues, and no major crime, thank God, you know, so I think that's going okay, so they've been working hours, and they're running about 38% during the daytime, 28% on midnight, morning, and about 34% on second shift, so they're switching around, so they're covering it all around, so it's not gonna be bad. So, just so everybody understands what's going on there.
Can I have a copy of that?
Yeah, I'll
after the
get
meeting?
one, I print them out just for you, Angela.
Okay, all right, thanks.
So, Okay, fire, Mike? Mike's up.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I've got to give you guys these, I don't know why I kept these.
You don't care about us, Mike.
Joe, is this your paperwork up there?
Oh, Joe?
Joe,
Did you leave some paperwork
on the podium?
I did not.
It's got your name all over it.
I think it says Egbert on there.
Oh, that was his cheat sheet.
That was his cheat sheet, he left it here.
Now he's in trouble the next place.
Yeah.
Joey's got to pass them around, you can't keep them all.
Oh! Well, excusing moi.
Thank
Did you get my message about tomorrow night? Okay, Ron said a stroke. I'm gonna have a quick meeting tomorrow. Instead of next Wednesday because Mr. Grace is having knee surgery. Ron had a stroke. Well, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, you're up.
Just had 10 calls, same amount we had last week, or last month,
Okay.
so we're just like 27, so.
Now, when you have these calls, that you have to go out when the ambulance goes out, so are you working like together then? Okay.
We bought a thermal imaging camera,
Ooh,
That's nice.
but the association's paying for it. So.
Oh, good.
That's actually being shipped, I just talked to the guy Monday, I emailed him, and he said his company shipped it to us, so it should be arriving here sometime. The light bar, the guy damages them back ordered till May, so.
Doesn't surprise me.
Everything.
I got billed, I didn't know where it was at, and I got billed for it, I'm like,
What's this from?
so I called him and they said, he said, you didn't receive it, I said, I wouldn't be calling you if I didn't receive it.
yeah,
So he says, well, just void the, then wait till May, so
okay.
hopefully it'll be here in May.
Right.
Right,
What's that?
exactly. They don't bill you till they ship it?
Right, so he thought we already got it, so
Yeah, he was wrong, so.
he was wrong.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think there's anything else.
Oh, yeah, let us know
Not
about
really.
your.
I think I want to
part.
bring up one of our former
Oh,
department personnel passed away. It was Snyder, so.
Oh, Woody.
Woody?
So
Yeah.
he asked if they could have a, what do you call it, former
fire service for him.
fire
Yeah.
service, so I told them they could use the fire trucks for what they need to do
Yeah,
for the funerals
yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
So
so.
tomorrow, one of the trucks will be leaving to go to
Yeah.
Tiffin,
Oh,
so.
good.
So we might want
Okay.
to call Kansas or Ophir, some just for standby in case we.
Yeah, I've already talked to Reinhardt, or not Reinhardt, but
Okay.
Dykle, so.
Okay.
Just so we get, just have coverage in case of something.
Yeah.
So whatever, whatever you guys need to do there.
That's lovely.
Don't know why, I didn't even know he was sick. Yeah.
What'd you say it was last Saturday he passed or something?
Saturday morning, I got a phone call,
Okay, okay,
he
so,
passed away.
so I just want everybody kind of know what's going on there.
He had 35 years of service,
Yes,
active service.
yes.
I don't know how many years he actually had total on the fire department, but he had 35 years of active service to fire EMS.
And did a lot of popcorn balls
A
too.
lot of popcorn balls.
You gotta applaud somebody that,
Oh, yes,
that's
I
in
would
service like
yes,
that,
yes.
Yeah, so. And also, just so everybody knows, Mike and I had a discussion about this oxygen issue and stuff with the EMS and all that stuff, so I gotta resolve that with the commissioners on Thursday. I hope to resolve that with Tony and Tyler and Mike and all that stuff, so. So I don't know what's coming, there's something about the way they was shipping the bottles now and how, because of the cost of moving from department to department or something like that, they wanna do a centralized location and all that stuff, and it just creates another whole other mess for everybody else, so.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out, because I had a discussion with Tony in respect to this, about supporting the fire departments, like when they have calls and stuff like that, when they support the ambulance and stuff like that, so we're trying to figure out how to give you guys money when you guys are supporting the EMS and stuff like that, so we're working on those details right now, and I don't have.
That'd be good, because,
Yeah,
now we can't, we're not supposed to get our supplies off the squads.
right.
So we gotta buy our own.
I got 3 extra tapes at home if you need them.
So the other thing they told me, and I didn't know this in the past, that the insurance company, if you had a structure fire or something like that, the insurance company would actually give money to the fire department or something in the past, but they don't do that anymore. So that's how fire departments.
Oh, you mean if your house caught on fire, your insurance company could, yeah.
Yeah.
They do sometimes. I've gotten a few checks here and there from them, but nothing to, we just saved a house
Yeah.
last week and we got
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
$10.
I didn't get nothing but a headache from, because
I know.
it's a long story, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say on
Yeah.
record, but
Yeah.
Would you give us a little bit of a rundown on the gala of it, OZIMS?
Yeah, yeah.
Your
fireman-
raffle.
the fireman.
How'd
yeah,
your
this is
raffle go?
the most tickets we sold was this year. Profited roughly 15.
Well, good. That's
Good
good for the association,
job.
and you guys
Good
worked your
job.
butt off, because I mean, I was
Yeah.
surprised, I mean, they had like 12, 14 people there trying to do all this stuff, man, it was just like
Yep.
chaos one the whole night.
So we, yeah, it was,
They pulled it off.
Yeah,
yep, the most tickets we ever sold. We shoot for 300 and we sold 286.
Wow, good job.
yeah.
Well, good.
Okay.
And everybody was stressed out, but they got through it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a rough.
They did a fine job.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yes.
much, Mike.
Yep, thanks.
Appreciate
Okay.
it. Clean up.
I haven't got a whole lot done because of, what's been going on, but,
Okay.
what's his face?
Yeah,
I forgot to give you
No, I can
the
sit wherever.
top to send down to what's his face, I'll get that taken
Okay.
care of.
Okay. Water, street, sewer, John?
On street, that kinda goes with zoning too.
No,
The house that burned on Monroe is down. They will be rebuilding, and the footprint of the new home is gonna be a little bit smaller than what was originally there, so shouldn't be any zoning issues with it.
Is that what you were trying to call me for the other day?
Well,
I got a message from my daughter-in-law.
it was what they were trying to put on there
No, okay.
Yeah.
that we may have had some issues with, but since then, they've completely changed direction, and we shouldn't have any issues
Okay.
with zoning wise. Sewer, we're still waiting on EPA permits before we can go any further with the project out there. They've sent in the application for the permits from the state for the chemical building that will be out there. And they can put out, they can advertise bids after we get that portion. We just won't be able to start anything until we get the permits from the EPA. On water, our pumpage is back to normal. We still have a hydrant to replace on Thomas. We're waiting on hydrants.
Okay.
I ordered two.
And I want to tell everybody, John and the team worked their asses off to get that stuff all
Yes,
fixed.
they did.
I mean, that was a challenge, with all the challenges we had there, so, and that's something that we're looking forward, we need to start having honest discussions about what we're gonna do with this infrastructure.
Yes.
And start replacing this stuff, and get a plan together, because, it's gonna cost a lot of money, and we gotta figure out how we're gonna do this, section by section, or what we're gonna do, so.
Exactly.
One project at a time. We gotta get the sewer plant done. With the way prices and stuff have been crazy,
Yeah.
we're a little worried about what bids are gonna come back. Granted, we had a plan to pay for everything without taking out a loan, we're gonna pay cash for everything, but we're a little apprehensive about doing anything else until we find out what
Right.
stuff comes back.
Right.
Exactly.
So, yeah, the main lines are gonna be on the back burner for a little bit until we figure out exactly what's going on with the wastewater plant project.
Okay.
Granted, yes, it is two separate entities, technically. Two different line items between water and sewer, but that's a lot to follow up with when you're trying to do loans and
Right.
everything else. So,
Yeah, nothing's easy.
yeah, we'll have to get some engineering done and whatnot for the water. There's about 5 miles worth of mains in the ground, so, and about 300 taps on them, so it'll be an expensive project. But that's all I got.
Well, John, we want to thank you also
Thank
for
you. Yes.
all the work you did during the snow events and stuff too. I mean, I know it took a lot of work to do all
We're
that
done
stuff.
with that.
Yes.
I'd much rather mow grass.
Okay. Next issue is the park. So we have to start getting serious about what we're gonna do with the new park. I went up Saturday and I got all the equipment from the School of Opportunity, took all that stuff down, I brought it home, I got it over here in the old helipad. Got it stored there for right now. So we gotta start figuring out a layout for the swings, those units. So there's it's gonna take a lot of work, because it took a lot of work just to take it down, it's gonna be twice that much work putting it back up.
Yeah.
I hope I can, I took pictures of everything, but I hope I can get this shit back together, because I feel like there's a lot of pieces of this thing. And what the challenge was, I had 30 of the Heidelberg football team help me take this apart, and I had parts going everywhere, and I was trying to keep track of all this shit. And I tell you what, it's bad enough having a couple kids, let alone
30.
30 of these, you know. And the problem is, that, you know, they're big burly people, and they're pulling stuff off and bending and stuff, and I said, stop, you know. So, but we got it under control, and we got the stuff back, so.
Good.
I hired 2 guys to help me take the stuff down, and then I hired Brandon to go up and dig out some concrete, and they gotta bring all the
Ground up rubber.
Roundup rubber and all the boundaries and stuff down back. So he's gonna go up Saturday and finish that up. So they gotta have that stuff out by the end of next week, because they're gonna start putting the new playground equipment stuff down, so we gotta get all that stuff down. That was part of the agreement that we would take concrete out. So he's gonna go up and dig, I pulled quite a bit of it out, but my little Ford could pick up some of that stuff. My little Ford wasn't gonna move it, so I said we need something bigger, so Brandon's gonna take care of that. And I think we got probably 5 big tri-axle dump trucks full of that rubber stuff and everything that's coming down, so it's a lot of stuff.
That's awesome.
So it's a hell of a pile, let me tell you that. So
Good.
that's all taken care of there, so that's for the park. So we need to put together a plan for a shelter and all that stuff, and start getting that done, and the dog fence and all that stuff. We got some quotes, but we gotta figure out options, keep, you know, so. So that's kinda where we're at with that. Okay, the next one is zoning. I think we can really start thinking about how we're gonna get that zoned over there. You know, Rob submitted a plan for how to zone stuff out there, so we got, council wants to review that. And then once the annexation should, I hope I can get it finished up this week. If we get that done, then we can move forward with the zoning part of it and start that process, and then we can start the process of selling the park and all that stuff. And I think it's 5-6 weeks, we gotta.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, so we got, so we'll have to put an advertisement together and figure out what our base price is, or refusal prices and all that stuff, so we need to start thinking about that.
Were we gonna have it reappraised?
Well, we had it reappraised.
Yeah.
Just recently?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I had it reappraised, so we're talking
Okay.
325 to 350. I think we need to figure out what we wanna set the price at,
Yeah.
and see what, I think right now there's quite a few entities that's interested in it.
Yeah.
And I think I gotta figure out how that works, right of refusal, and plus how do you bid it, get multiple people when you're bidding on it. I don't know, if it's not really a sealed bid, so it's gotta be something, we gotta figure out how to do that correctly, so we don't get in trouble.
Yeah, take a look.
So we gotta make sure we understand that process, and we do it correctly, so we don't get any issues there,
Right.
so,
So it can't be sealed then.
no. I think it can be like, you know, they
Like
put a
an
bid in there, and then you gotta,
auction type
and bring
thing?
people that bid on it, bring them into the room and say, okay, now you can bid on it again, and then see where it goes. I guess, you know, that's what they do with houses now. You know, people, they put a offer in, and then, you know, they all come together, and then who ends up with the highest offer is the one that gets it, right? So I think that's how we're gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna have to work, so. But again, I'll yield to Alex, make sure he understands what's going on here.
I can figure it out.
Okay, any other things on zoning, Rob?
No, I don't have anything, John don't have anything.
Okay, so we're good there. So let me update you on the annexation. This is a lot of work.
Scott, you wanna let him talk?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
You can go ahead.
Come on, Damien, come
Come on, Damien.
No, let's go.
Come on, Damien, come up here.
You don't wanna sit through this.
You don't wanna sit through this.
As exciting as we are.
I'm sorry, Damien, I didn't see you back here.
No, that's fine. I came late. I'm not trying to interrupt your meeting.
Okay.
I wanna tell you a little story about Damien. His mom and dad come down to my house and
Yeah.
put
Well, I
signs up
know.
there, and my dog goes out there and he wraps the damn thing around the hood and got stuck to the car, so I had to open the hood up and get the dog out of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
If you would've stopped at our house first, we would've warned you about that.
I've known your dad for ages.
He's got
Yeah.
one good dog and
Yeah.
one crazy
And him and my
dog.
brother were good friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets around. There's a
Yeah.
lot more. He knows quite a few people, but.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know me, sorry Mary, you gotta listen to the spiel again. My name's David Auld. I'm running for St. County Police Court Judge. I'm running for Judge Kelbley's seat. Obviously, I
was
think the
just
judge
here.
was here. I see
He
the
was here.
pencils, so
Yes.
I mean that's his trademark if I'm following up somewhere where he's already been. I've been his magistrate for over 3 years. My prior experience, I'm the former Seneca County Treasurer. I was elected 3 terms there. Lifelong resident of Seneca County, born and raised outside of Newrigal. That's where I still live, bought my grandma's house.
had the opportunity to leave Seneca County after law school to take a job in federal law enforcement, but I chose not to stay in Seneca County because didn't want to leave. This has always been my home. Prior to that, my experience with Judge Kelly as his magistrate is handling bond arraignments, domestic relations docket, various administrative functions for the court. Also, while being magistrate, I was also acting judge for Tiffin Fostoria Municipal Court, handling civil docket, criminal arraignments, pleas, sentencings. Former assistant city prosecutor for Tiffin, handling criminal trials, court trials, jury trials. Had my own private law practice for over 14 years and did a lot of litigation through that, because if you're a solo practitioner, you're doing everything from small claims for your business clients, setting up LLCs, and going to court over contract issues, plus criminal defense work. So I've been a criminal defense attorney, prosecutor, and also from behind the bench. So I have all that experience as well. My goals if elected common police court judge would be, one, make sure I'm available night or day to sign any search warrants for law enforcement. I did that when I was an acting judge for Tiffin Fostoria Municipal Court. You'd get that phone call at 2, 3 in the morning and meet up with law enforcement either at the station or they'd come out to my house. The SO seemed like they would just drive out. I don't know why. I said I could run in there as well, but it's their choice. Also, continue with the Pivot program. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with the Pivot Drug Court. It's a great tool. It's intensive probation and treatment for individuals that have substance abuse issues. It's a better tool in order to get individuals who want treatment. Sometimes they gotta be motivated before they get that desire to want the treatment. But if somebody has 1,500 days in possible prison over their head versus, let me go into this treatment program, sometimes you'll see them come around. Not everybody will graduate from the program, but sometimes once they realize they're clean and sober, they have a job, they have a good living arrangement now, they got rebuilt relationships with family, friends, that is their motivation. Jail no longer is your motivation anymore. You help change their way of thinking. That's what Pivot's all about. And it's getting them drug treatment, it's getting them sometimes medically assisted treatment, you know, so like for opiates, you would get the shot, so that way you can't take it anymore. Unfortunately, there's nothing that works for meth. That's the downside. But if somebody is addicted to alcohol too, they're in Pivot Drug Court as well. Because there is a shot to help you. Oh yeah, if somebody's an alcoholic, they can get a shot. It'll make you really sick if you consume alcohol. So, but you got to work with a doctor because there's a couple different alternatives for the shot. Make sure which one is the best fit for the individual. Also, I want to look into expanding mental health treatment options for defendants. Jail's not always the answer in low-level drug offense cases. We have to, and the same with mental health issues. People are going to keep doing the same offense. We need to stop that recidivism. So we look into other treatment options available instead of just putting somebody in jail. And part of that is maybe expanding for a mental health court. That way we can make sure people are on their meds and they're receiving their treatment, going to those doctor visits, things like that. And once again, it's the same. Once people will start getting and rebuilding those relationships, having employment, paying their restitution, things like that, you know, they're responsible again. And hopefully they'll enjoy the life that they're used to living now. Also work with Seneca County Probation Services. It's a great tool for the judge now. It's intensive probation for those individuals because Seneca County, once again, will have their own probation department. They're contracting with the Oriana House. So we have weekly meetings with the probation department. I had to fill in for the judge a week ago. It was a great experience. I mean, you're going through every single person on probation. You're saying, okay, what's going on with this individual? How are they doing? If somebody's slipping, maybe we need to set this for a criminal review hearing. Maybe we need to increase random drug testing. Maybe we need to increase random home visits. How are they doing with work? You know, is there any other violations? You catch any issues before it spirals out. So it's a great way to have intensive probation for individuals. And make sure they're following through with their treatment too. Because lots of times there's other treatment, whether it's anger management, substance abuse issues, things like that. So, and also I want to make sure victims of crime are represented through all stages of the criminal proceeding, from the time of the arraignment to the time of sentencing. They have a voice and they should be heard and listened to by the judge. And one of those things is making sure all the restitution's paid. You know, if somebody damages your property, what do you want? You want to be made whole. You want that $1,000 it cost you because maybe your home insurance deductible is so high. You know, lots of times it's a higher deductible, cheaper insurance. So that's what we look to do. One of my accomplishments since becoming magistrate is I've collected over $125,000 in restitution for victims of crime in Seneca County. And my last point is, with COVID, we never shut down at the court. We took the opportunity to get some COVID money, some of those funds through Seneca County. We took advantage of that, qualified for creating a remote, have the capabilities for remote court.
Yep.
So we have 2 monitors bigger than that on a rolling stand, CPU unit, fully Zoom capable. I've done hearings with 2 individuals in hospital beds. I've done hearings with 2 interpreters by Zoom from like Cleveland. We've done hearings where an individual parks their car and you swear them in and they're on Zoom and they so swear and we take testimony with 2 attorneys at the table. It's great because the camera will move to whatever party's talking. So it was a good opportunity utilizing those COVID funds because we save litigants time, money, because sometimes you don't have to have those people come down from Toledo or Cleveland. So, in summary, I believe in treating everyone with respect and dignity, allowing all parties equal access to justice, even if a party doesn't like the decision, their ability to have the time and opportunity to present their argument. They'll be not happy with the decision, but they respect the process. So, if anybody has any questions, feel free, let me know.
I appreciate it, Dean.
I appreciate you giving me the time, and I'm cutting in the middle of your meeting, but
I didn't see you back there, I would have told you there earlier.
no, it's fine. It was me that ran. Like Judge Kelly, I'm gonna leave some pens too.
It should be good for a couple months now.
Yeah, you know, always use pens, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, old business, annexation, just to let everybody know. So, petition, all that stuff, I got all the documents signed, I got all the maps signed, I had the township trustee signed everything off, got everything all done, and Don was out of the office, so I went over to Mark, and there's an issue with one of the parcel legal descriptions. So, I got a hold of Holman, we got it straightened out last Friday. You get Don, Don's been off for 2 days, so I'm gonna go back up tomorrow, hopefully she's back tomorrow. And if she signs off on the map, then I'm just gonna go take it over to county commissioners. And then I already talked to Stacy and everybody about putting the resolution together, so they're supposed to have that stuff done, and then hopefully I can get that done Thursday. All depends on if Don shows up again tomorrow or not, that's what.
So aside from cleaning that up, there shouldn't be any issues from the commissioners. They're all set and ready to go.
Right, yeah, I already talked to all the commissioners already about it.
So that was the impression I got from the email chain with Tony, that
Yeah.
they're ready to go. It's
Yeah,
just,
right, so I've already covered all that information stuff with them. The issue was with the legal description, I'm just trying to get that straightened out. Because what I wanted to is that when Jim was supposed to set it up, it was supposed to go from our property line of the park all the way down to the section line. Well, he included the basic property too, so I don't own the basic property, so so I had to get that cleaned up, so that's what the issue was. And I didn't, I talked to him like 3 times, and I thought they had it resolved, but they didn't have it resolved, so I think it's resolved now. But that's where I'm at, so but we're okay because they have the petition, all that stuff, we met the 180-day timeline of the petition, all that stuff, so what goes through the county, that shouldn't matter, because that's a different part of the process.
we basically paused the clock.
Yeah.
Right, we actually filed the petition
Yes.
within the time, so we're
Yes.
good.
Yeah, so petition to the county, and it's been going around this purgatory right now. But, I made at least 15 trips to
Yeah.
Tiffin already, just trying to get this thing resolved. But anyways, it's so I think it's okay. So once the annexation's done, and then I got 2 fiduciary
Deeds.
resolutions we have to do, so I can sell the property once this is done.
okay, to the township, which is part of the annexation agreement with the township.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so that's the second phase of this whole thing, so that's kind of where we're at. Okay, now we're gonna talk about ditch cleaning and land purchase and all this other stuff, and I got Joe and Sue here. And we had an honest discussion, was it Friday? I think, or what day was that, Joe? Well, come on up here.
What's that, Scott?
Well, what day would we get together? I can't remember. Was that Friday?
Friday.
Yeah, Friday, yeah, so we sit down and talk, and he has some concerns, he's open to selling the ground, but he wants future rights to, if he has to make modifications to the drainage or surface water, that we can't shut him off of surface water and all that stuff. So I guess my question, Alex, do we do covenants or something into a purchase agreement and stuff like that, so that he is protected and future generations are protected? That's the big thing, right, that he had. So how would we do that legally? We own it, but the point is, we just want to make sure that we can't impede upon his surface water or his drainage, and if he has,
We do that all, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's like
not
a
a
covenant, right? I think
It's no, it is, I know what you're talking about, and you gotta give me a second. There's goofy names for it.
It's illegal.
It's
Rubber
not,
band.
it's not riparian because you're not like boating on it. But yes, you're basically reserving the life use of part of what you're getting at. That makes sense. I
Yeah,
understand
so
what you're
he wants that, so we gotta define all that stuff with Joe, and then put that in the agreement, right? And then we'll put a purchase agreement together, and then and he wants his lawyer to look at it, and have you guys look at it,
Yep.
or Alex look at it. And just to make sure that, all parties are whole in the agreement, right?
Sure.
And then that he feels comfortable with it, so we can move forward. So what we're talking about is 100-foot right of way.
Okay.
Okay, and then what the vision is, so he understands what the vision, we kinda talked about it, so everybody understands here what the vision is basically, we build an earthen dam right next to the property line where Frankers live at, and then we put an access road back, and we'll put like a small parking lot, so we can build the ground up and create an earthen dam to keep the water from getting into the village. And then we use the engineering company to size the tiles and everything, so we have the right size orifice and stuff to control the water coming into the village. And then we probably have to put some kind of a surface ditch and check valves and all that kind of stuff, so his surface water can drain in there when the water starts dropping down, so we don't push the water back up into his field during high rain events like that. So we gotta engineer all that stuff.
Okay.
So that's his concern, and
This
I'm in agreement.
That was last spring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rain events.
when we had all that
I remember
rain,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
flooded my garden.
So,
I
Joe,
get that every year, and if we put an earthen dam in there, and that's just gonna set that on May, and I gotta get that off within 24 hours to
Right.
48 hours, I gotta have that off. There was soybeans in there,
Right.
and,
yeah, so that's what
I
his
can't
concern is.
have any more than 48 hours of standing water like that until it gets down. And I had my tile guys, we shot that whole farm from the back corner where my back driveway is to the lowest spot out here where my tile comes into the ditch. From the County Road 11, that's 6.5 feet of fall. From clear to the back corner where the park is and Jerry Fried and I come together, that's 9.5 feet of fall
Yeah.
from the back of that farm. So I got the whole farm coming into that corner. And I gotta have
Yeah, so we gotta,
permanent outlet
Exactly.
for that water.
we gotta solve it.
Right.
Like I told Joe, the goal here is to make it,
Better for you and better for the town.
yeah, right, and that's what we gotta do, and we gotta work with them, so with the engineering group and all that stuff, that they understand what our options are and all that stuff, so.
The tile guys that I talk to, that does my tiling, we're talking a 10-inch, and we're gonna put new in the field. I got an 8 in there now, it's bad, it needs to be replaced. When that goes in, I gotta have an outlet,
Right.
at least 10 inches.
And we can do whatever you recommend. I think it's better to go a little bit bigger and then size down into it that way for future growth if you decide to do some other modifications to your tilage or whatever. So I think we do that, and like I said, the other thing is the surface water, then we gotta have some kind of a backflow preventer of some type, so then we have the rain events, his water can get out, and we don't push the water back into his field, right?
Right.
So the goal was what I told Joe, the goal is since they cleaned the ditch and the state did all the modifications to it, there's enough height there that we can store a lot of water in the ditch itself and push it all the way back the Prairie Ridge ditch and keep it from getting over and in the ground. So we have a solution to it, I think. But, we gotta make sure that he is whole, he has, future generations have rights to deal with water in that farm, if it's his kids or whatever, because,
Well, whatever we have to do, and I'm happy to do whatever you guys come up with, we've gotta tie it to that land.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm saying, so it's gotta be part of the purchase agreement, or the agreement between us, and then all those,
That way it keeps riding with the deed every time it
Yeah,
gets
so-
sold or
so-
transferred.
Yes, so does that go into
Maintain.
deed, is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's.
The phrase is it'll run with the property, it'll be, so rather than be tied to a person, it'll be tied to the property itself. So that, let's say, making this up, tomorrow you decide to sell it, then that next landowner has that protection as well, I can't,
Yeah, I don't.
That's what he
I
wants.
want it,
Yeah.
I want it so it continues on.
Yeah, that
So if
shouldn't
I
be an
pass
issue.
it down to the kids has got it, then whenever they do.
yeah,
I
we
want
treat it almost like a right of way,
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
in the same kind of vein.
You can't block water.
right, no, that's the whole point, but
Find its easiest access.
yeah. So the point is, I mean, that's kind of where we're at.
Sure.
And I said, well, why don't you come to the meeting, and we'll talk to Alex and all that stuff, so everybody understands what we're trying to accomplish here. Because, I need to build this dam to keep the water out of town, because my number one priority is to protect the village.
Right.
That's what I gotta try to do, figure out how to do this and do this, retention pond or whatever we gotta do. But I can't hurt him or harm him.
Right.
And we wanna make sure we put ditches and stuff so that the other water that's coming can get into the retention pond. So there's gonna be multiple systems into the retention pond to make this all work. And that's what I need the engineering company to do I'll put the project scope together, saying this is what we're trying to accomplish, this is what we need to do. And then they need to come back with the engineering solutions, those things, and I want Joe to be part of that engineering solution so that he feels comfortable that what we're doing is not gonna harm him.
Yeah, you guys come up with whatever you want, and then I can craft it, massage it into a,
Okay.
into a,
And then, have Joe have it, and he can take it to his lawyer, and then
Yep.
work all the legal details, so all those things. And then
Yeah.
we'll come to terms on prices for sure. I made an offer to him, but we gotta make sure that he's comfortable with that, and we'll go from there. But we wanted to vet this out tonight in front of the council, so everybody understands what his position is and what
Sure.
I'm trying to accomplish, and, to make sure that everybody's on board with this,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Okay, so,
yep, no worries, just you got me what you need and what you
so
want.
is the council
what
in
you got.
agreement with this? Okay, I just want,
Yes.
so I just want to make sure, because I think it's very important, because this is all about the health of the village, it's about his farm health.
Right.
Right,
Yes.
so we gotta make sure whatever we do,
It doesn't
Doesn't
harm
affect
him and
the-
it won't harm the village.
Yeah,
We
right,
have to be
exactly.
copacetic and work with each other.
right, so that's kind of where we're at, so.
Because right now, that's my livelihood.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Right, so I guess what we do is we'll put some of that language together, we'll start the process with the purchase agreement, because my situation is, what the engineering firm told me, I can't do anything without the property if I don't own it. So
That's
they-
true.
So that was why I told Joe, that's the problem, I can't move forward until I purchase the property, but we gotta solve the legal and the harm issues up front, so that he feels comfortable moving
Yes.
forward, so that he doesn't get, so that's my point, right? And then we'll work through the engineering details, I'll work with Joe, with the engineering group, and say, okay, this is what we wanna try to do, how do we solve this problem, and then we get, I'll have him sign off as well as me. So we'll put that in, maybe in the purchase agreement or something, or how do you wanna do that, we gotta have equal agreement on on these solutions or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a problem, I'm just kind of
You just
figuring
gotta figure out how
out
we do it.
some ways to do it, but yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, it's just picking what we do and how we do it.
Right,
Sure.
so I want you to think that through a little bit, maybe a week or so, and
Yeah,
then
make a
put
note.
something together, and then I can get to Joe and we can start this process, because the other issue is, it's all ties to the ditch cleaning. I talked to Beth up there, and it looks like she's saying July, first part of August, is what they're telling me right now, they're gonna clean the rest of the ditch. So I'm gonna have to get this out to the people it's gonna affect, because it's gonna affect everybody through Howicker Drive and all that stuff, because all that ditch, from
Will it go all the way across,
Yeah, it's going all the way-
61?
It's going all the way go all the way to the creek.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's going all the way, and I already walked the ditch back there, and there's a lot of, at the creek, it's gotta get cleaned up, there's a lot of trees and stuff filled down in there, it needs to be cleaned up and all that stuff. But like Joe and I've had discussions, and we really can't go deeper, so we're gonna have to go wider
Yeah.
to handle the volume, right? So, and the other thing is, we gotta watch, when I talk to engineers, we have to look at what infrastructure we already have in town that are impediments, and adjust the orifices and stuff. So we don't have to change all the rest of the infrastructure, because you got all these other bridges and stuff that's been there for, like, by the school and all that stuff. All that stuff's fixed, the railroad's fixed. I mean, trying to get something done, or tiling railroads like that, that's probably gonna be the next to impossible. You know what I mean? So, well, we gotta figure out how to solve this, this is the real issues that need to be addressed, but we gotta address it. And Joe and I agree, if you walk the ditch, there's several places in the ditch that's pretty narrow that needs to be addressed, and trees and stuff that's in town that need to be
Yeah, yeah.
addressed. And there's also buildings and bridges
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything else that we put up there that's gotta be addressed, so.
Who actually owns the ditch?
I think the property owner owns to the center of the ditch, right?
Should own to the middle of the ditch.
Yeah.
On both sides.
On both sides.
That's how it works. But then you're also liable to keep that ditch maintained, you know, the property owners.
So,
Is that,
okay,
see out on Long Route 12, that starts clear of, that's called the Perry Lynch ditch. Now, I don't know if it changes, because out here, this is the Schwarzmeyer Kissel ditch. Out here, it comes in and meets right out here. Now, if it changes names when it makes the bend and starts coming this way into town, I don't know. But out there, that's the Lynch ditch.
Well, she
Perry Lynch.
she told me it's Perry Lynch, what Beth
So
told me.
it should follow all the way through,
Yeah,
and that's on maintenance out there.
yeah. That's one that Mr.
The
Sugar.
big one.
Yeah. That's when Pat Sugar to come talk to us about the petition that we.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
If you look at your taxes, if you got water going in that, which the whole village of
Yeah.
town, if you look at your taxes, you should say the Perry Lynch ditch on
Yeah.
there, because I pay it every year.
Yeah. And they've never done anything though, really, have they?
Well, when the state moved that back, they took 102 acres off the front of the farm, and we set the ditch back
Right.
9 years ago, several years ago. Well, would that have been, what, 15 years ago or more, Sue? I think when we set that back.
Yeah.
Well, it was before, we still lived in Betsville.
It was shortly after I started working here, cause they cleaned up to Elm Street and they stopped, cause that was where the village property stopped, and they said they wouldn't go through town because they didn't wanna go on people's private property.
Right.
Well, I can't, that doesn't even make sense, because it was on our property, so I don't, you know, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me, but.
Cause it wasn't a clean property, I guess, it's just through the well field, that's where they stopped.
To get, that's the thing that you guys has gotta do, is get the whole town and the people that live along that ditch to get them, to make sure that it's gonna go. Because if you do stuff out there, and if
They
you don't
don't
get
do-
this open up.
Yeah,
It ain't gonna matter.
They already did the head,
yeah.
and they dipped that already, they dipped that, right to Route 12, that's been cleaned already up through there.
Yeah.
And over on Perry Lynch, we put the new tile in underneath the 69 here about 4 years ago, and Peg and Joe, they opened that whole ditch up. They took the tile out and opened it up now, so everything at that end's open.
Yeah.
You've gotta get the mouth open.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll be surprised,
Oh, they're gonna-
you'll be surprised how that water's gonna flow through there if you get it right.
Yeah.
Because already Wolf Creek drops, put in there a day and a half to 2 days earlier since they took the dam out in Freeman.
Right, it does,
And,
yes.
Because everybody said if it didn't, it wouldn't matter. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
It
it
was
does.
backing that up at the mouth of where, well, the east branch of Wolf Creek comes in down at the old,
Malcolm Bridge.
covered bridge, and just a few hundred, half a mile down the road, the main creek of Wolf Creek comes in there. They all
Yeah.
come together. You're
Yes.
backing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you got 2 days of drop. You get the whole town on board to get that ditch clean, and you'll be surprised what happens.
Well, I think of his petition, I mean, there's a bit, some opposition, but the bottom line is, I think the majority of people realize it, because we've had these couple flood events, and they've seen what it did to the property. Yeah, you're gonna have some people bitch, but the bottom line is.
Oh, they're gonna do it anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
All the years that I was on the township, you're not gonna please everybody,
No,
but you've
absolutely.
gotta make the decision,
to
For the-
do,
what's
the-
best.
For
for
the whole,
everybody.
For
the whole.
everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna like it, because their backyard's gonna get tore up,
Yeah, well,
but time, all you gotta do is fix it,
Right,
and it'll heal. It's just dirt
Yeah,
Right.
and stone. And with today's technology, the equipment they got, you can chisel the high spots out where the rock is. Very simple to do that.
Yeah.
And if you do the little steps, Mother Nature will take care of herself.
yes, you will.
Well, and I think Joe and I had this discussion too, is that if we stop thinking about it, all the farmers and stuff, they put more tile in now, they've taken out the fence rolls and all that stuff, so we don't have the retention time upstream that you used to have. So now, when you have a major event, I mean, it gets to us a lot faster. And we've
Yeah.
seen this now in the last 10 years because
Yeah.
of what the town's been going through. So, because I can remember as a kid, I don't remember seeing water like that when I was a kid, but now,
Well, when you take fence rows out for miles,
yeah.
that slowed it down over the years.
Yeah.
But once you get 2 mile running,
No,
it's gonna go.
yeah.
And
So-
it don't look like it, but it moves. And it'll wash trenches. And that's the reason why I farm the way I do. I farm no-till. You don't get that. You get a lot of cleaner. Your water coming off your farms is a lot cleaner
Right.
than that, so. That's the reason why I do what I do.
That makes sense.
So, Joe, I guess what I would recommend to you, you and Sue sit down and put a
a list of your concerns and stuff together, so we can make sure we incorporate them, and so we can make sure we cover all your questions and concerns, and we'll look at the legal aspect of it, what we gotta do, so we can address all these issues, and then we move forward and try to get these all centered.
As far as the land dollars and stuff like that, I'm gonna wait and see how we're gonna lay that out there.
Right.
You know, as far as the feet, you know, the 100 feet, 50 feet, or however it's gonna lay out. That'll give you, if you've got 2/10 of an acre, or half an acre, or whatever like that, then we'll figure it out from there.
Well, I just to tell you up front, I think it's gonna be 100 foot, and the reason I'm saying that, because I'm probably gonna need at least a 50-foot right-of-way for a driveway to go back for the parking lot, and then we still got the ditch, so and that ditch is gonna get inserted into the.
I think if I understood you right the other day, as far as if you're putting the earthen dam in, I don't have a problem putting the earthen dam in on my side, but I don't want that driveway on top of that, which I think he was talking.
Not on that side, on the
Yeah,
other side.
Putting it on the east side.
East side, that's where I'm talking,
Yeah,
east
I don't
side.
want
I don't,
that on that
I don't, I
side.
want nothing on your side.
Yeah.
The earthen dam and all that stuff's gonna be on the east side towards Frankers. I'm gonna move the ditch back this way.
I want to make sure I'm in on that, where that, my tile guy, so we get that tile on grade, because you guys are gonna stick that tap in there. I'm not.
Well, that's fine.
I'm gonna tap in on it.
That's fine.
But I want that on grade, because right now, my tile's in the bottom of the ditch. It's non-freeboard. Freeboard is the water down here and the tile's up here. Right now, it's underwater all the time. So we need to know what the shots are through town before you set that up out there.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that.
And,
Yeah, so-
you know, you gotta go, we gotta know what this is to know what that, where
Has to be.
where the
Well,
tile's
that's
got
why you
in
need
it.
to be in on the process, Joe.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said, that's what the engineering's gonna do, a survey.
Exactly.
They'll do a physical survey, plus they'll do a LiDAR survey of topographical.
Once we get this together, I just want, you know, so I ain't stepping on any toes, but I want my tile guy there saying this is the depth that we need this.
That's fine.
And see if it'll line
Well,
up.
that line being underwater, does that hold the water?
Yeah, it
It
restricts
does.
Because you need a
know,
lot of head pressure to push that
Yeah.
through.
Gravity, if you put standpipes on the end of it, Mother Nature, the air pressure will push that water
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I don't have a standpipe on it, but if the new one goes in, it's gonna be a standpipe on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of tiles, field tiles, where we're.
So I think let's make a list of all your concerns and how you wanna do stuff, like I said, that description with all the requirements, and then we'll work an agreement together and make it legal, and then we'll put it in the deed so it stays perpetual.
I guess that was my biggest concern is that you guys, as far as the board here, is to get this town on board to get that ditch clean.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we've already made a decision to do that, I already told Beth to move forward with that, so.
I'm on
we
it,
really
so
gotta
I'm with you.
I've been over here for 25.5 years. I know what it does.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah, so the ditch, that's all part of the whole thing, and to me, that's gotta get resolved too, because that's all part of the whole big picture, because we gotta solve the water problem.
Yeah.
So we,
I see what you're trying to do, and I'm not opposed to progress in that, but I don't want water held up either, because,
Right,
you
that'll
know,
hurt you.
no,
when the crops out there, what you're getting into them today, you gotta have stuff growing out there to make
Right,
it. And that, so.
exactly.
so we're not, whatever we do, we're not gonna impede any of your livelihood, so that's the goal, so.
That's fine, you just tell me what you need and we'll make it happen.
Okay, so,
Okay.
once you two make a list and all that stuff, we'll get together and I'll start working agreement with.
We'll keep in touch then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, have a good evening.
Thanks, Sue.
Keep him straight if you can, okay?
That would be a full-time job.
I know. Yeah, that's what my wife says too. Okay. So the website, we're moving forward. Carolyn has been putting all the documents and stuff in, we're uploading stuff, she's been staying steady doing that stuff, and I think maybe, I would recommend if maybe one of the council members would kind of help, kind of guide that or something, because I've been so distracted, I haven't had a chance to really stay focused on it, and maybe make improvements or things, what we can do for improvements or whatever, so maybe we can start having that discussion and get the website so it's more functional, it's more updated, and maybe they can just, they can send the information to Josh and all that stuff, they wanna keep the things updated as far as what's happening in town and all that stuff, we can talk about the ditch projects and all those things, and that way we get to have, what projects are going on and what we're doing here and those kind of things, so, cause it's hard to keep track of all this stuff, I'll be honest with you, so, that's kinda what's going on here with that. So, what you think about that, we'll go from there. The Vesuvius building, I kinda talked with Joe was here, what we're doing there.
I'm not gonna do anything until I get this VAP study done, and I'm trying to get, the county's got, there's money set aside for brownfield, so I'm trying to get them to pay for it. So it's, I got a quote, it's $8,500 to do the initial phase 1 testing, and if we don't find anything there, then we don't have to go to phase 2, which is about $50,000. So that's where they go out and they drill a bunch of wells and all that stuff, and sample groundwater and do a statistical analysis of the groundwater flow and all that stuff, see if there's any issues, so hopefully we don't get in that. And also, my understanding with this brownfield thing is that if we move forward, then there's money available to tear down part of the buildings and stuff that we don't want to keep, and then you can bring dirt and stuff in, and they can rebuild the ground, you know, put grass and stuff over the top of it, like where the line is at. So that's what's available through this brownfield through the state. So the first phase is find out if we want to move forward with getting the property, not to make a community center, and using the property for function of the village or not. But I think we need to do a risk assessment first,
Yes,
so we understand where
definitely.
we're at. So that's kind of what's going on with that. Okay, Rita, anything updated on that, Alex?
Where we're at on Rita is I have hearings tomorrow afternoon.
Speaking of hearing, that's for Rita, so that's something, he come to my, that's something I want you to look at that. According to what Rita's telling me, he doesn't owe him any money, so I want you to look at that over. He's been trying to contact you, and I said, I see you tonight, and let you look at that and see what's going on there. So I don't have any of the details, so, okay.
So in general, I have hearings tomorrow, hearings tomorrow for, basically for restitution, not restitution hearings, but for, Judge and I are calling them damages hearings, where I've got some estimates from Rita as to what they think they should owe based on some back stuff, or if they have never filed at all with just the census data on the average income for the area, so that we have a reasonable number to go collect on. I was just asking for, you know, basically the limits, but it's not really reasonable. No one owes $6,000 to Rita.
Right.
So we're looking at some more normal numbers to go collect on. So that's Wednesday. And then we have the 2015s to file on, that I'll file on here this week. But other than that, we're in pretty good shape. Most people are either closed or they're just defaulted, and so now it's how much effort do we want to go chasing people around to try to find money.
Okay.
But, sorry, one more thing is, but because we've cleaned up now all these older
Excuse me.
cases, we either shouldn't have much going forward, or there should just be nominal amounts of people, because it'll only be 1 year. And my hope is that in theory, maybe word will get out that we're actually gonna be active in collecting this stuff, and people will just take care of it. It's not hard. It's just you file a return,
Right.
and you're getting a payment agreement with Rita, and then we wash our hands of it. The minute you talk to Rita and you figure it out, we're out. So it's not a big deal. Or if people would just show up to court, also not a big deal, because we can figure it out.
So one thing I didn't know, the one person I didn't talk to, the issue comes down to with court appearance and stuff, is that because of the way they work and their bonuses and stuff, with the way the job systems are now, that they get a $500 bonus if they don't miss any work during the month or whatever, and those kind of things. So it's real economical things when they have to go to court. So if we can figure out how to solve the problem, if we don't have to, that's the other thing we gotta figure out.
They could answer their non-responder letters.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, so
Nice
that's-
start.
Okay, so that's what I gotta figure out. So, like I said, I'm just trying to,
Right.
you know, I just want everybody to understand, we're trying to work through this whole thing, so we're not trying to be, yeah. So anyways, that's what's going on. I just wanted to bring that to your attention or whatever, so.
That's why my back was turned to the camera.
Well, you should know better. Okay,
But sorry, just the other, just real quick though, is, and these people do need to understand, I don't represent them.
No.
So it's not to sound cold, but it's not necessarily our problem
right.
if they're not handling this. They're also welcome to call the village and say, what do I do? And we're gonna tell them, go talk to Rita.
Right.
Right, and get it straightened out, so. So I'll have that conversation as well, but I just wanna say, he came to the house and I said, well, I would talk to you, and because I didn't have the information, so I couldn't make a decision,
Right.
so. Okay, so, that's good. Sidewalk ordinance, I've kind of thought about this, John and I had some discussions on this, and we gotta get something done here, right? So, the issue comes down to, is I think, we can't force everybody to put brand new sidewalks in that don't have sidewalks right now. We had that discussion, so we have existing sidewalks that were built, and so we wanna look at the property owners maintain them, shovel them, and maintain sidewalks, except for if it's village damage because of a village tree or something like that. Then we would be responsible. Other than that, if you're a property owner, then the sidewalk's your responsibility. And this is something that's caused externally by a student sewer repair or something like that, where we had to tear the sidewalk up or whatever, then it's our responsibility. But if it's normal maintenance and normal snow cleaning and all that stuff, if you have existing sidewalks, that's how we approach it, because it's like we had a discussion, it was a can of worms when you try to move forward with stuff, because the stuff was never, put in originally when the houses were built and all that stuff, when they did all these, like the Gordon Estate and all these things, sidewalks were not put in when that stuff was done. So, and then, I look at my property as well, that was a woods at one time, so there's no sidewalks at all on it, right? So you stop thinking about, I got, 1,600 foot of sidewalk I have to put around it, parameter, whatever, I'm just saying, so it's not economical right now for everybody to do that. So we can't cause financial harm to our people. But on the same token, if you have existing sidewalks, stuff like that, if they need repaired, then figure out some way to repair them or whatever. And then maybe we have an opportunity where, if it goes through taxes or something like that, if it's existing sidewalk, they don't have the money right now, or something, we figure out how they, do that to get stuff repaired. I don't, that's something we gotta understand, but I think make it simple to start with, just saying that if you have existing sidewalks, simple, you maintain it. But if the village has to destroy the sidewalk to do utility repair, or we have a tree that's damaged, then we take the tree down, then the village is responsible. I think that's how you handle it.
I think that's a given anyhow.
So
We just wanna make the existing sidewalks the homeowner's responsibility.
So what I've done is I've essentially, for all intents and purposes, lifted what I've put together from Bowling Green.
Okay.
And just in short, is essentially the property owner is responsible for the repairs and maintenance of the sidewalk. And we decide if it needs repaired. It's not their judgment call. It's the village says whether or not it needs repaired. Certified mail that says you gotta repair your sidewalks.
It's probably a good idea to have that in there.
Yeah.
Property owners makes the repairs within reasonable time period determined by the village. It's our call. If they don't do the repair, we're gonna do the repair and we're gonna bill you. And if you don't pay it, we're gonna send it over to the auditor and it's gonna be hooked to your taxes.
That's fair.
That sounds good.
I think that's what we do.
It's that simple. And then there's
Yeah.
also, I've put language in here, again, right from BG, that the village shall pay the cost of public sidewalk repairs for that portion of the walk damaged by city-owned trees or damaged directly by municipal actions.
That's what we want. So let's put that resolution together, and then we can have that, and we can vote on that and institute it. And that gets some of that liability away from the village.
Yes.
Right? That's
What
we're trying to
about
accomplish.
parking and driving on them?
It's their responsibility. What do you, I mean,
You can't be driving on a sidewalk.
yeah.
They do.
Well, I mean, they're gonna have
Down
to,
it, they
they're just
cross.
exasperating their repair.
I mean, like
right.
parking on it is what I was
Right.
saying, if you need to add anything for that.
Well, no,
I would
it's
imagine
illegal to park on a sidewalk, but you
Yeah.
have to have someone to enforce it,
Right.
so. right
So I think
now-
we start here, at least get this on the books.
Yes.
So let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're ready to do it. I've got the ordinance ready to go.
Well, let's go ahead and do the first reading, and we can start that
Yes.
process.
Yep.
Let's do that.
I can read it.
Okay.
Just because I have it on my computer. Whereas the Village of Bettsville, Ohio establishes an ordinance for the repair and maintenance of sidewalks within the Village of Bettsville. A, maintaining and repairing of public sidewalks is the responsibility of the property owner of any lot or land abutting any public way. B, should any public sidewalk be found in the need of repair by the village, the village administrator or his or her designee may order the property owner by certified mail to repair such walks. The property owner shall make necessary repairs within a time period determined by the village. C, if the owner or person having charge of said land fails to comply with such notice, the village may cause the necessary repairs to be made. Thereupon, the expense of repairing such walk shall be billed to the property owner by regular mail. Upon failure to reimburse the village, this amount within 30 days thereafter, the council shall make written notice to the county auditor with the statement of charges for services, the amount paid for the performance of such labor and related expenses, and the proper description of the premises, along with a request that such amount be entered upon the tax duplicate to become a lien upon such lands from and after the date of entry, and to be collected as other taxes and returned to the city according to law. Whereas the Village of Betsville, Ohio establishes that the village shall pay the cost of public sidewalk repairs for that portion of the walk damaged by city-owned trees or damaged directly by municipal actions. Then it's basically repeated that be it ordained the council of the Village of Betsville establishes this ordinance of maintenance of sidewalks from the village and establishes the following requirements for the maintenance and repair of the sidewalks in the village as stated above.
That's good.
So we had the first reading, so we're all in
That is-
agreement, I think that's what we need to do.
That's ordinance 2022-05.
2022-05.
Yeah.
Finally, get that moved off center, that's a good thing.
And Angela, if you ever need to get in and get these things, I do all of them inside of that solicitor Google account.
Okay.
So all the documents that I draw up, anything, they're just in there. They're in the
Okay.
G drive for that.
He's gonna have to train me, because he keeps doing that to me, and I have to.
In theory, it would make your lives much easier because you just go in and get it.
Yeah.
And then if we ever, my thing is it's all contained, so if
Yeah.
you ever needed, we got sued yet again.
Yeah.
It's
there.
You don't have to go into my stuff, it's all right there.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
so,
good, because we've got a few people that have come to me. So-and-so didn't clean the snow off their sidewalks. I tried to talk to them and they told me to go to, I said, well,
Well, that's
We already
got
have
nothing to, that's got nothing to do with this ordinance.
no.
But we
but
should,
it's sidewalk maintenance.
no, but we already have, I'm assuming we already have a law for the snow,
Yeah.
it's just not enforced.
Yeah, you gotta call the cops.
Yeah, and not having a little talk with them, so. We do have the sheriff department,
Okay.
don't be afraid to use them if we have to, they can make that contact if they have to, so. I mean, that's what we're paying that money for, so,
Or you clean it and bill them.
yeah. Yeah,
Who's gonna do that?
Yeah.
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 I'll drive plow down the side.
Okay, this we're going the right way, okay, grant writer, Rob, you got anything there?
No, I was, we were discussing that we probably need something as a grant writer. To coin Yogi Berra, we only know what we know. Okay, I know that doesn't make it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's absolutely true. You know, we don't know about any grants that would help us replace, like, for instance, the water system. But that's only because we don't know. A professional grant writer from, like, that they use in big cities may know that. And I think it's important for this village to at least have somebody we can go to and ask them, hey, look, on a per diem, is there any grants that cover whatever project you want to bring up? And so far, we asked Alex at that time.
I just haven't found anyone.
So,
So I did talk to the county a little about this, and the issue comes down to, a lot of these grant writers that are professional, they get a percentage
Yep.
of whatever that grant might be. Say it's like 20%.
Ooh.
So if you got $100,000.
A lot of times it's more than that, and they'll charge you either that up front or half of it, and then whether it gets denied or you receive it, they still want their money.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
Yeah.
you're better off, I was told, is you're better off speaking with an engineering firm and getting information from them.
Yeah.
Because
That
they're
may be
gonna
where we go.
understand.
So there
Yeah.
again, that's something, you only know what you know, and
No,
I didn't know about
Right.
that.
That's right.
Oh, I found that out, you know, I had a discussion with Charlene and all that stuff once
I
I got
did
it.
too, so.
You know, and it's like, holy shit, that ain't gonna work so good, so I
No.
gotta, you know, so, I think I kinda concur with what John's saying, that if we're gonna do a project, we probably ought to get an engineering group to do some of those things. There's still gonna be a cost up front, but I think it's a better cost.
A couple grand's better than a
20%
percentage of
In other words, these engineering
100,000.
already have their own grant writers.
Right,
Right.
right.
So you're gonna pay them to do it, and I think maybe that's what we start doing, and maybe that's the safer thing to do. Plus, they have the experience, because they have the contacts and all the things that we need. And then, you know, they would protect us from something stupid we we're not thinking about. You know, that's what we gotta make sure that we don't do something that we
Like-
could be liable for, right?
Well, like, for example, Park's a good example. So like in Bowling Green, they're gonna do one of those inclusive parks, right? They're not just coming up with these this stuff, they're going, hey, inclusive park people, they're not writing a check for it. Those people know where that money is. Or they're using CARES money, or they're using this and that, what have you. So I tend to agree with that kind of concept, is if we have projects, go to the people who are gonna do those projects and say, well, how do people fund this stuff? Because we can't be
The only one, right.
we can't be giving 20% of a park sale away to
Well,
some
no.
grant writer.
Oh,
Right.
The town will lose its mind.
yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so I think, after we have these discussions and understand how the system really works, it's no wonder they got all these grant writers out there.
Well, yeah.
It's pretty easy money if you can pull this stuff off, right?
Yeah, if you're getting paid whether they get it or not.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that we're better off, like you say, we'll go with the engineering people and, that can help us, whatever project we're working on, to try to get money to do these things, that offset some of these costs or whatever. So I think that's gonna be our approach. If everybody's in agreement, I think it's how we move forward.
So now will we need one like for what's going on like with this ditch and stuff or whatever?
For what?
For like the ditch and stuff, will we need somebody to
Yeah,
help
I
us?
already got that. I got a quote
Oh.
for $16,500.
Oh.
And that's my point though. I can't move forward with the engineering cost until I get the property, because I have to own the property. I have to do a physical survey on the property so that we know what the boundaries are. That's where I was getting with Joe, and that's where I've been kinda going around for like this last month and a half with Joe. So, but, I understand his position too, so.
Until it's engineered, how are you gonna know how much property you're gonna need?
Well,
And that,
I talked to the Yoder, and we're not talking that big of a retention pond. Okay, so basically, what the goal is to dig it deep enough and get enough dirt to build the earthen dam, and then put the parking lot in.
I
That's
get
it.
that, but he just stood there and said he doesn't wanna talk prices with you until you know how much property you're gonna need.
Well, I already told him.
I'm
Yeah,
just-
so that's,
Yeah.
I know, we got a solution to it,
Being coy.
He's being smart, but I already told him I wanted a 100-foot right of way, and basically 30 foot of it's gonna be the road, the dam, right? And the rest is gonna be the ditch and then part of the retention pond, and I'll have to move enough dirt out to build
So
the
is that
ground
about
up.
an acre you mean, or?
No, it's gonna be less than half an acre.
Oh,
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah. Because, because we gotta be careful, because we gotta stay so far away from the wells and all these things that John's got
Yeah,
concerns
yeah.
about. But the biggest point is to get the earthen dam, right, and then control the water. That's the number one, but you gotta bring the parking lot up, because if you look at the ground, there's a low spot there, and that has to come up, and that's what this is all about. So I'll work all those details out with him, but, I already kinda measured it out, figured out what we gotta do, and then when I talked to Mr. Yoder at the engineering firm, and he said that would be workable. So that's why I started on that path.
Where are we gonna put it?
What's that, the retention pond?
Retention pond.
Well, it's gonna be at the end of the ditch. So where the ditch makes 90, coming into town.
Kind of where
It's-
Rouse live, at that corner?
Right, yeah, that corner there.
Okay.
Is where the earthen dam's gonna be on the Rawls side, or the Franklin side,
Okay,
up against the property line, 30 foot towards the west.
okay,
And that's gonna be the access road going back, and it's gonna be the same elevation as the Route 12.
okay.
So that way, basically, if it gets that high, then it's what it is, and it's gonna come to town anyhow.
Right,
So, this is just for, it's not gonna
Okay.
solve all your problems, but it's gonna get the majority of them.
right,
So that's where we're at, so.
okay.
So everybody understands what we're doing there. And I have to write, according to the engineering proposal, I have to write the project scope. So I'll write the project scope up, and I'll detail all the technical specifications and what I want and all that stuff like that, and then we'll work with Joe and all that stuff, so we can come to terms and all those things, but resolve those things, so that's my responsibility, I'll take care of that. Okay, that was something, okay.
Yeah.
Grant writer, okay, yeah, ARPA appropriations.
That is your paper there that has the American Rescue Plan Act on
Okay,
it.
what is that? That's one I probably got buried somewhere.
I can read it.
Yeah, right here, this one's
Okay.
for $130?
Yep,
Okay, so council's asked to approve appropriations for the following: American Rescue Plan, account fund, account code 2152-790-520, equipment for $130.
okay, and what that is, it's a reallocation payment, so if I'm correct in understanding it, anyone that didn't accept the money, then it goes back into the pot and then it's divided
Mhm.
a certain percentage to everybody, so that's just an additional $130 we get. Which isn't much, but something. So I just need a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
Second,
I'll second.
Linda?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Rob?
Yep.
Bill?
Yes. And the next one is the new park fund.
Okay, I've been talking to Julie so I can get all my stuff in order when the park does sell, so we have a place to put the money. And she said, the sale of the park would need to be deposited into a capital improvement fund, and the improvements to the new park can be paid from that fund. And I cannot use the existing park fund for when the village had the levy for the park because it's a special revenue fund. So I'm not able to
Right.
continue using that.
Right.
So my first question is, what do you want the fund called? Like, the one out there is called the park fund. Do you want it like the park and dog park, or park/dog park, or what do you
Probably,
guys
I mean,
think?
it's called Village Complex Park or something like that, or
Yeah.
something.
Village Complex Park?
Yes. That
You
sounds
guys okay with
good.
that?
That sounds good.
Sounds good, I like that.
Okay, and then, I need a motion, the new park fund number would be 2042, so I just need a motion to create that new park fund.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Joyce?
Yes.
Rob?
Yep.
Bill?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that taken care of.
That's pretty easy. Now we have, the next one is the general fund appropriation.
That's the other short little copy I gave you.
So this council is asked to approve appropriations for the following: due to the money being received from the sale of miscellaneous fire equipment sold on government deals.
That's the stuff that Mike sold.
Yeah, Mike sold, so it's general fund account, it's $297. So it goes back into the general fund, is that correct?
It's going into Mike's equipment.
Okay, on Mike's,
So he
okay.
can reuse it.
Okay.
So that's 1,120, 520 for equipment. So I just need a motion to approve that
I'll
appropriation.
make a motion.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
Rob?
Yep.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Linda?
Yep.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
This equipment, he sold it, I'll go back in his fund.
That's
Yes,
right.
exactly. If it's our equipment.
That'll help them later.
So I have two more resolutions, new business that I have to do. I talked to Alex to sell the parcel land to the township. I gotta have to do a resolution for each parcel, as I understand this, is that correct?
We have to do a resolution that appoints him basically the fiduciary for the village that allows him to sign the fiduciary deed. I don't think you actually need to do, as long as you're, whatever I wrote from the resolution
Well,
is
that's,
fine.
maybe just do one
I
resolution.
may have put them together to be.
You put them together, but
perfectly
that's why.
honest. I don't think you need to be special for anything.
Okay.
We can do it within one
See, I already
resolution.
told you, Scott.
We can do it within one resolution. I don't have any
Just
problem
waiting
doing
for
that
that.
at all.
Yeah.
It's as long as we're all on the same page as to what
So
we're
basically,
doing.
what Monson gives me authority to sell the parcels.
Yes.
So that's what we need to do, so.
And the other thing we need to do that we may not have done initially when we first did it, we may need to update something on it, but I'm not too worried about it. Is the village also has to basically resolve that there's no purpose for the village to keep that piece of property and to have that piece of property. It's been deemed not used by the village, and we're better off with it with the township.
Yeah.
So we just gotta add that to the resolution.
Yeah, I think on the previous one that we had
Okay,
done.
so let's
that was-
everybody talk and agree to do that. Let's make a motion to do that, so we can make that a change. And that way it's updated. And that way there's no,
All right, I'll make the motion.
So what are we making, are we doing the resolution, or what are we doing?
We're gonna amend the previous resolution.
What
that-
was the number?
No, I have no idea.
To annex certain property from Liberty Township?
No, the one to.
Sell
Agreement
that.
to sell certain property?
Correct.
That one.
Correct.
That's 2022-01.
That we're gonna amend that to reflect that the village deems that property unnecessary for the village, and is unused by the village.
So it's still gonna be the same resolution?
Yep, we're just gonna amend it.
so I make a motion to amend the resolution.
Okay, I'll make the motion to amend the resolution.
And what's the resolution number, so we,
2022-01.
I'll second it.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Chuck?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
It was the mask.
I know. Did that sound like him though? I got it
Sounds
done.
just like
He seconded, Gilbert
Let's get
seconded.
back
Oh, I
to
said
the
Chuck.
I
fiduciary.
had it done then.
Sorry.
Okay, guys,
Got it.
well, let's get back to fiduciary
I
agreement so that I can sign the properties over to the township then for sale. So what, is
So
that?
I'll give you the authority to do
Yeah,
so.
so-
Right, we want to appoint Scott as a duly appointed fiduciary representative of the village of Bettsville, and that we want to appoint him to act on behalf of the village to, well, so the one resolution is we're authorizing him to petition the commissioners to annex property in Liberty Township. That's one. The other is to appoint him as a fiduciary for the purposes of, I think there's another one.
So you sent me all this
What's
stuff.
this one?
I know, I kind of overdid it.
Fiduciary.
Well, they're both gonna say that. This is to annex. Did you get one that says,
Yeah, fiduciary right here. Yeah, see?
yes, this is the other one, okay.
Okay.
So right, so one is for him to be the fiduciary to represent the village, to petition the commissioners for annexation. The other is
The
to
authority.
appoint him as fiduciary in order and act as grantor to transfer certain property from the village of Bettsville to Liberty Township. That's the strip of land. So that's what we're gonna do. I would like to, I'd like to pass, assuming you pass resolution, I do want to go back in and put those parcel numbers into it.
Well,
But as long as you're appointed, we'll take care of it.
Yeah, because the parcel numbers, they got screwed up, and that's what the one thing that gets closed out, so.
So the first
So,
motion.
so we
would
got
be
a
to-
motion to send the rules, we got two resolutions we have to do, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's,
Resolutions or ordinances?
The resolution.
Resolutions.
Okay, so the first resolution that you said would authorize Scott to represent the village?
Yes.
For purposes of
Well,
Petition.
I'm just telling you, that one is 2022-06. I'll need copies of all these.
okay.
That one's 2022-06.
so that's fiduciary, and this is the, okay, so the first one is the resolution for the petition to the county commissioners. That's the first one we gotta do.
Alright, so
So
it's
that was
20?
what?
That's the one to authorize you to,
Yeah.
With the
Petition.
commissioners.
With the petition to the commissioners for the annexation. So that's
2022-06.
06, okay. So I'm gonna read this to you, and then we'll,
I'm
then
not
we'll.
sick, I just.
And this is an emergency?
This is emergency, so, motion to declare emergency okay, for a resolution.
Motion to suspend the rules.
So
Suspend the rules.
moved.
Yeah,
Second it,
Linda?
Yes.
Rob?
yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Motion to declare an emergency?
I'll declare it emergency.
Second,
Bill?
Yes.
Rob?
yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Motion to adopt.
I motion.
I'll second it,
Gilbert?
Yes.
Rob?
yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah, that was.
okay, so resolution 2022 or 06 is passed, and now the next resolution, this is where I'm the fiduciary agent, where I can sell the property. So resolution, that is that 7?
Yep, 2022-07.
Okay. Motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Linda?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Robert?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Motion to declare an emergency?
I make a motion,
I'll second
Oops.
Rob?
yes.
Bill?
it. Yes.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Linda?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
For what?
This resolution
So
was
that's-
passed.
So,
Get even the game, will you?
Welcome to the meeting.
Yeah, I've been here.
He makes a motion.
He made
I
the
made a
motion.
I'll
motion.
second.
But you said it right away, I'm going, well, what?
Chuck?
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yeah.
And I think that concludes everything on the agenda. Any other new business that I missed? Okay, motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion. I don't care how straight you lace, this is a fun group.
Is it?